All right, 7th graders, lesson 72, implied ratios here. We can solve a lot of them by completing a proportion. If you remember, proportion might look like A over B equals C over D. And if we know 3 of those numbers and we're missing a 4th, we can usually solve that 4th number. So let's look at a problem here. If 12 books weigh 20 pounds, how much would 30 books weigh? So 12 books is over 30 pounds, so they want to know, or 20 pounds, sorry, they want to know how many would 30 books weigh. So we've set up a ratio here, and we can solve this type of problem. Like we've done in the past here, we can cross multiply and then divide. So we would do 30 times 20 divided by 12. Then you'd have 600 divided by 12. And we know if we cover up that last 0, we know 60 divided by 12 is 5. And then we know we add that 0 back to it is 50. So 30 books would weigh 50 pounds. There is another way that we could also solve this problem. And we could do 30 books, and that's over 1, and then we multiply it by another fraction. We want books on the bottom because, again, we want to eliminate those books. So we put the 20 pounds on the top, and we put the 12 books on the bottom. And again, the books will cancel out books, so we're left with just pounds for our answer. But we still have the same thing. We still have 30 times 20 divided by 12, so it will equal 50. So 2 different ways to do this. More than likely, this type of ratio box over here is going to be a little bit easier for you when we start putting them in like that. Let's take a look at example 1. Let's make ourselves a ratio box here. Get started. It says if 5 pounds of grapes cost $1.20, how much would 12 pounds of grapes cost? So 5 pounds is $1.20, and they want to know how much would 12 pounds cost. So we're going to cross multiply and divide here. But really what we're finding out is how much does just 1 pound of grapes cost, and then remultiplying that by 12. But for simple purposes, again, we multiply diagonally and then divide. So in this case, we're going to do 12 times 1.2 and then divide that by 5. So if we go 12 times 1.2, that's going to be 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2, 0, 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times. So we're going to get 144, and I need 1 decimal place. We'll have 14.4, and that's the top number. Now we need to divide that by 5. So 14.4 divided by 5, that would be 2. Decimal up there, 5 will go in 48 times. Bring down another 0, so 2.88. So I can take that, and that should be money. So it would cost me $2.88 for 12 pounds of grapes. So cross, multiply, and divide. Using your calculators, obviously this will be much easier because you could just multiply 12 times $1.20, divide that by 5. Come up with the answer 288. You won't have to show all this work by hand, but you still should understand how you can get those types of answers. Example 2, let's make a ratio box again to start out. Mrs. C can tie 25 bows in 3 minutes. At that rate, how many bows can she tie in an hour? So here we have 25 bows in 3 minutes, and they want to know an hour. So I need to put an hour in here, but with ratio boxes my rates have to be the same. So I need to change it from an hour to 60 minutes. And now I can go ahead and cross multiply and divide. So I'll do 25 times 60 over 3. Again, you can do it on your calculators, but we should make sure we know how to do this by hand. 6 times 2 is 12, 13, 14, 15. So I'll have 1500 divided by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5, with 2 zeros behind it. So in this amount of time, in 1 hour, if I go back up here, she can make 500 bows. Okay. Example 3. Again, let's start out with a ratio box here. 6 is to 15 as 9 is to what number? So 6 is to 15, because they're the two related to each other, as 9 is to what number? We don't know. Well, again, we can use our math principles here. We can cross multiply and then divide. 15 times 9 over 6. So 15 times 9. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 1 is 9. Plus 4 will be 13. So I'll have 135 divided by 6. 6 will go into 13 2 times. 12. Bring down the 5. 15. 6 will go in there 2 times again. And I'll be left with 3/6, or if I reduce that, that's 1/2. So that's my answer up here. 6 is to 15 as 9 is to 22.5. These are a little bit difficult because, not difficult, but we just have to make sure we keep things in the order. 6 is to 15 as 9 is to another number. So the 6 is to 15. That means it goes over top of it. It's related to it. All right, that's it for today. You can get started on your practice, 7th graders.